Hey everyone, this is Patrick and Philip. We're the co-leads for the strategy team for Cosmic Medical. That's COVID open source, collective open source medical supplies for COVID, formerly UBC SOS event. Here with this week's update.
So we're just checking in with our weekly update. This is where we slice and dice what's happened in the past week and look forward in terms of what's coming for everyone else for our project this coming week. So let's just dive right in and talk about some of the things that happened last week. So first off, I just want to highlight two meetings that happened. One was we had a chance to connect with E at UBC, or Entrepreneurship at UBC, to understand how we could tap into what is a very extensive network of innovators and thought leaders and potentially even funders within the Entrepreneurship at UBC network. So the real takeaways from that meeting is there's really two ways for our projects to engage with entrepreneurship at UBC. The first is we are going to ask all of our projects to really articulate the needs with regards to recruiting an MBA student who will be able to help with a go-to-market strategy. So through E at UBC, we'll either be able to reach MBA students that are volunteers or MBA students that are doing interns, and they will help all of our projects to really have the nuts and bolts conversations about where the market is, the needs are, and potentially manufacturing and distribution plans for all of our projects. So that's the first way, MBAs to help us with go-to-market. The second one is in terms of E at UBC, for any of our projects, they can set up meetings with the entrepreneurs and residents at E at UBC. And those meetings are very much centered around giving feedback, strategy, and access to contacts that the entrepreneurs and residents have. And to make those meetings useful, it's going to be important for our projects to really clearly make clear requests and really articulate what their needs are so that the EIRs can effectively help. The other meeting I just wanted to highlight is we had a great meeting with the senior exec of the Alberta Health System organization. And so that was with Chris Guan and Louise and some of the project leads. And they're very enthused by the progress we're making and are interested in potentially procuring some of our devices as we move forward. Yeah.
Great, on to structure. So last week, we had sort of an insight that we have all this great knowledge and information encapsulated in our Google Drive. And we have a beautiful website that has some good information, but some of it's not always up to date. So we're working on incorporating a new tool called Overdrive, which essentially lets us format and structure our Google Drive to look and behave like a regular website. So this should help the teams get their information into kind of an idealized website structure and to communicate the project. This is all with the goal of promoting and speeding up the process to open sourcing. So thanks to Sarah, Kate, and Jason, we've now put together and organized Project Snorkel Mask as a kind of pilot project for this process. And so we'll be working with the other teams on getting all this content together so that it streamlines the process to go from a Google Drive that's full and rich and up to date to a website that is published and accessible.
Totally. So that is something that started to happen last week and will keep happening next week. I also just wanted to highlight we've got a new project coming online as well as kind of a reanimated team. For those of you that attended the project review meeting on Thursday, will remember that Dan Andrews, who was working with the Clinical Respiratory Support Project, presented this Army respirator concept, which is and more than just a concept, a prototype and actually some test results, which was creating this Army respiratory valve, which is effectively a way to deliver BiPAP without requiring any mechatronic control of the valves to switch between the high pressure inspiration and low pressure expiratory air. So this has high potential in terms of a cheap device that could potentially scale massively to give better respiratory support for COVID patients around the world. So we're spinning that up as a new project, and Dan Andrews is going to be taking the lead on that. So very exciting to see. It's hard to believe, but just a few weeks ago, we did the same for Snorkel Mask, and it's certainly come a long way. Also pretty excited to share with everyone that Tyler Youn and Michael Lee, two medical students, have joined as our project leads for the clinical needs team. So they're going to be working with all of our projects to really dive deep and understand why, you know, where are the needs and are we addressing them right now with our current projects, and really working to define what our use cases are for all of our projects so that they're just really, really well defined. And we have a clear mission in terms of what we're doing on the engineering side. So thank you, Tyler and Michael. So in terms of next week, well, we've got a lots to come. It's kind of everything runs really fast here with Cosmic, but I really want to encourage everyone to hold on to that sense of urgency. I mean, we're flattening the curve in BC, but there are many other places in the world that are not so fortunate that need access to our designs. And so with all of our projects, we're doubling down on our open sourcing mission. And so we should really make that a priority across all of our projects to really think about how we can quickly get that information, the test results, and all of the clinical feedback that we've got up onto our website. And obviously the Overdrive work that Patrick talked about earlier is going to help with that. And I would also say that while we continue to open source and share what we've learned, our ability to open source and scale and get other people to use the designs that we're developing will certainly be augmented the further we get along the Health Canada regulatory pathway, and the further we get along in working with manufacturers to actually produce our devices. So let's stay focused, let's keep that sense of urgency, let's get out there, let's share our work, and let's also remember that we're close in some projects to making some serious headway in terms of actually manufacturing and distributing our devices.
That's perfect. So, I mean, I just want to remind all the team leads and all the team members as well, that we really all need to be clear on exactly what the teams need this week going forward. So in terms of if you need help for organizing your drive and your files, if you need help for that would be great to bring on new members for the organizational task, because, you know, fresh face, fresh eyes, they will show up to your project and have a good sense of what makes sense and what doesn't make sense. And that will help format the project in a way that makes sense to the public. So if you need help with regulatory, Jeff Ching is your go-to person. If you need clinical testing help, Tyler Yan and Michael Lee are the clinical experts. We need our projects to go into user feedback mode ASAP. So putting your prototypes in the hands of clinicians will get that feedback cycle engaged and help us improve the designs. Manufacturing, we need specific asks, and ideally as short as possible. What do you need from a manufacturing partner or manufacturing tools? That we could pass off to UBC or OSCMS BC, or just put the team lead in contact with experts and help searching for qualified manufacturers like UBC offered. And then finally, if you need help with the design and engineering, Alex Wasselin is the team biomedical engineering needs lead. So, you know, definitely tap into those networks this week. Stay focused and clarify exactly like what is holding up your team. What are the next hoops that you got to jump through? And how can we get this all open sourced and in the hands of clinicians?
And that's it. Get out there. We've got a good feeling about this week. I forgot to say, for all of our projects, we're also asking all of you to come up with your theme song so that we can introduce you in style at our project review meeting this week. All right?
Great. Take care.
You guys.